Okay, we're going to get started. Let me ask you first, who are my extroverts in the audience? Always my front row. Okay, so who was at my talk yesterday? Okay, now, why did I ask who my extroverts are? Guess what? I found out who all my introverts are. Remember how I said it's all in the way you present the information. So that's really what we're going to be discussing today. It's all in how we present the information. So we're going to be talking about interviews and interview preparations. Hopefully I won't have technical issues today. So the question is, why should you listen to me? There are so many people that you can listen to. I'm a partner at Marketing and Sales Resources. We are a niche search firm. We specialize solely in marketing sales professionals in the industrial products B2B channels. I've been a corporate trainer for many, many years, teaching computer graphics. I've been a creative director, a marketing director, and an information graphics designer, just like a resume is information graphics. But also, I do this little thing called FIRST. Anyone know about it? Okay, so I'm a 7-year non-tech mentor on Team 1676. I left my team last year, so I'm a mentor without a team now. And I've also been a judge at FIRST. So these are some of the services in which I do provide. I met some of you at my booth. So the question is, you've gone to school, you've worked hard, and you're ready to tackle the world. What's next? To get the job, you have to get through this interview. So all my introverts who didn't raise their hand, okay, you still have to get through the interview process. So you may be brilliant. You may be able to do the job. It might be the perfect job for you. But you have to get through that first interview. So that's why you're here today. So I'm glad you took the first step. So, my introverts, no mock interviews. I promise I will not call you up here. I do not believe in mock interviews. They're not real. Because everyone's asking questions and everyone's giggling and you know it's fake. In your back of your mind, you know it's fake. So I really believe in preparation. So if you're taking a practice SAT, do you then go right away and take the SAT? No. You study for it. You prepare for it. So that's what we're going to do today. So who's interviewing you? You could be interviewed by anyone. Human resources, recruiters like me. Come on in, sign in the back, please. And then come join us. You can be interviewed by hiring managers, company representatives. You can be going to career fairs. It could be anyone. But guess what? They're people just like you and me. They know you're nervous in an interview. And I think I realized that when I said, the person sitting in my living room right now is a vice president of this organization. And you know what? They're a person too, and I can talk to them when they're in my living room, so why can't I talk to them when I'm in an interview? It's all mental. It's all in your head. So the goal is to walk into that interview with confidence. If you walk in with confidence, then you've got it. Even if you don't get that job, you're going to feel good about it. Any chairman's presenters here? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so when you know your scripts and you walk into that chairman's room, you feel confident, correct? When you don't rehearse, maybe not so much. The rule, it's all in the presentation. So we're going to go over some basics. You may know these, but I'm going to go through them anyway. How should you look? Not like that. Okay? When you're preparing for interviews, I want you to have 2 outfits ready. You're going to ask the interviewer, how should I dress? Because it's not suit and tie all the time anymore. Sometimes it could be business casual. What does that mean? Ask them. They'll tell you you want to be dressed properly. If you don't know, go back on the business suit. They're never going to fault you for being overdressed. Never go in underdressed. You want to have 2 outfits ready because you may go on one interview and then they may call you back for a second interview. You want to be prepared because you may have 4 exams that week and you don't have time to go shopping to get a second interview outfit. Your haircut. Please, I'm begging you. Some of my college students, they get a little hairy, okay? They don't go for haircuts for the whole semester. Clean shaven, get a haircut, make it nice and neat. Your hygiene. I am begging you to have breath mints with you at all times. Tic Tacs. Pop one in before you go in. No perfumes. No aftershaves. Some people are allergic to it. You don't want to take that chance. You don't want to overwhelm them. Your fingernails. Okay? Keep them clean. I'm begging you. Okay? No funky nail polish. Actually, I take that back. I had one student, she was an FIT grad. She actually had green hair. And she was applying for a very funky kind of accessories place, so that she had really funky nail polish. Keep it clean, keep it neutral. When you go on the interview, get a pad folio, something to keep your resume in. It does not have to be expensive. It could be $10, $20 at Staples. It does not have to be expensive. You're going to need to bring 3 copies of your resume with you. Why? Anyone know? Because one always gets wrecked. So you have 2 backups, and they may ask for a copy, and then you may interview a second person while you're there. So you want to have 3 backups. Quality counts. Do not put your resume on cheap paper. It's going to fold, it's going to rip, and it feels cheap. Remember, I said it's all in the presentation. Put it on that crisp white, heavyweight paper. It says resume paper right on the box at Staples or Office Depot or wherever you might be, Walmart. So now let's talk about the interview a little. When does that interview begin? Anyone? When does the interview begin?
When you walk into the building.
No. But thank you for answering, and I'll give you one of those. Okay. When does the interview begin?
When you apply.
When you have first contact with the company. Whatever that means. They watch you at all times. So I had someone fly in to meet with the company for an interview. The van picked him up, the company van picked him up at the airport, brought him to the interview place, interviewed with the hiring manager, HR, went through the whole procedure. The van then took him back to the airport. Guess what? They asked the van driver, where did the person sit in the van? Were they courteous to you? Did they engage you in conversation? It's all contact with the company. Any emails need to be professional. Every contact that you have. That's why, and some of you saw, I have Job Tracker. Keep track of all of your notes for that specific job. Everything counts. So what does this mean to you guys? You need to be on alert at all times. If you are job hunting, you never know when someone's going to call you. You never know when you're going to meet someone. You may meet a mentor here. You may be at one of the booths and you run into someone. I've been known as a recruiter to be very impressed by some students and giving them my card. You never know when you're going to run into someone. Your phone. Please answer it professionally. My daughter's email or her phone conversation is, I'm out flying with an ostrich. Okay, well, if you're job hunting, guess what? Clean it up. You answer professionally. You make it sound good. Clean up your digital presence. They check. Companies do background checks all the time, and they'll look on your Facebook page. This is not a lie. So I want you to think of this interview as a first date. Anyone been on a first date? Maybe, maybe not. Kinda. Everyone now starts to giggle. Oh, I didn't know this was going to be a talk about dating. You're basically being on your best behavior, okay? You're making it look good. You're dressing up, okay? You want to be on your, you want to put your best foot forward. But also, you have to remember, you're interviewing them just as much as they're interviewing you. You have to see, is this the job that you want? So you need to be prepared for that. It's a two-way conversation. So let's talk about the actual interview. So now you've gotten the interview, you go in. Handshake. Please make it a nice, strong handshake. Everyone turn to your partner. Shake their hand. Is the handshake limp? Okay, I hate limp handshakes, like you can't shake it. When I work with people who have anxiety issues, I notice that I shake their hand throughout the whole session that I work with them. And the more confident they are, the handshake gets stronger, and the less confident they are, it goes limp. You have a question? In your pocket, you're going to keep a washcloth or handkerchief and dry them. There's a trick for everything, guys. Okay, but no, you're nervous, so yeah, your hands are going to sweat. Yeah, dry them. Okay, that's a good answer, right? It's going to happen. Question? You can say, I'm sorry, I'm really nervous. Is that honest? I mean, you guys are all at your first, you're going into entry-level jobs. It's okay to say you're nervous. When you go in for college interviews, do you think that those college recruiters don't know that you're nervous? They speak to people all the time at your level, okay? They know that you're very nervous. You can say, I'm sorry for the sweaty hands, I'm nervous. Let me wipe it. Be a person, as I said, if this person was sitting in your living room, you would have no problem saying that. Talk to them. They know that you're nervous. They know it's an interview. It's going to work for me? No, it's my mouse. Look them in the eye at all times. I've interviewed people where they're like this. And some people have issues with that, so that's something you need to practice. It's really hard, but you want to engage them. You want to know that you're interested. Sit forward in the chair. Don't sit back. Lay back. Okay? Show that you're interested. And that goes into body language. Sit up straight. No slouching. No sleeping. I know you're all tired now.
Why would you sleep in the middle of an interview?
I've seen stranger. Okay. I've seen people dozing or just tired. You can tell that they're tired. You want to be upbeat. You want to sit up straight. You want to be forward with them. No crossed arms. All those things do count. It may be in the back of their minds, okay, but it does count. Yes? Don't. No fidgeting. You got to figure it out. Hold it out for those 30 minutes of the interview. No fidgeting. I know some people have the fidget, the spinner, the fidget spinners. You know, if you got to do it, you do what you got to do in order to get through it. But I think that if you're confident, if we build your confidence for the interview, I think you'll be okay. And that leads to, you got to talk with confidence. If you know your stuff, you're fine. I work with someone who had anxiety issues and had problems speaking, public speaking. As you can tell, I don't have problems public speaking. And he had problems public speaking. He wound up getting an A in his public speaking class in college. Why? Because he spoke about FIRST Robotics. He spoke about something he knew, something he was passionate about. If you're passionate about your topic and you're going in that job interview, I guarantee you, every single introvert in here, you can tell me everything about your team and everything that you're doing on that team, and you'll talk with confidence. So now we just have to kind of build all of those other skills so you're confident. So let's get back to, if you prepared for your tests, why wouldn't you prepare for the interview? The question is, though, how do you do that? Most interviewers are going to ask the same questions. About 75% of the questions are all going to be the same. So if you have an answer prepared, you'll be fine. I have interview questions in the back that you can pick up the sheet. And if you have answers prepared for all of them, then you're good. I met someone out there who is a hiring manager, and he's going through it, and he's like, well, I ask all these questions. It's that simple. So if you have that prepared answer, it doesn't have to be word for word. But if someone asks you, let's say, what your weaknesses are, and you have it in your mind ready to go, you don't go, let me think about this. No, you're ready. You know they're going to ask that question. Everyone does. They've been asking it for years. Worst question ever. My recommendation is, with all those questions, write down your answers. Why? Anyone have an idea? He's right up front. He keeps answering. Oh, wait, I'm going to ask you. I forgot I have a mic. Okay, go ahead. Speak into the mic.
So,
That was a great answer.
so usually when you write things down, you refine your ideas. So when you deliver them in an interview, they're just more concise and just better.
Exactly.
Thank you.
What you want to do is write it down so this way you organize your thoughts. So if you have it written down, you organize your thoughts, you realize how you want to say it. Also, as you write it down, you remember it. Okay, I'm a visual learner, so I need to write things down in order to memorize it. It helps. And then I go back and say, oh, I should have said it this way instead. And I'll organize my thoughts. Plus, you may have an interview this month. You may have an interview next month. You may have an interview 3 months from now. If you write down the answers, you don't have to go through this every time. Just review your notes, just like a test. Before the interview, do your research. There's so much information out there now. Find out information about the company. I spoke with someone yesterday that they were interviewing for a camp job. And it was for someone with special needs, and they were on the phone with someone interviewing them, and the person didn't know anything about the camp, didn't know it was a special needs camp. So he couldn't answer any questions. Well, do you like working with special needs children? Oh, yeah, I guess. Okay, find out the information up front before you get on the phone. Read their website. Read the reviews about the company. Maybe you don't want to work there. Has anyone seen Glassdoor.com? Okay, so Glassdoor.com, for those who don't know, yeah, you can see through into the company. There are people who are writing reviews. There are people who are putting salaries on there, so you know what the range of salaries are for certain positions. It gives you an insight into the companies. It's fabulous. There's so much information out there. Wouldn't you feel more prepared walking into an interview if you know a little something about the people and the company? Think about that. LinkedIn. I told everyone yesterday to link to me on LinkedIn. I have about 1,500 links right now. I'm a hiring manager. I'm a recruiter. I may not be able to get you a job today, but guess what? In a couple of years, after your degrees, yeah, you might as well stay in touch with me. So I want to be bombarded today with LinkedIn links. You want to find out information about the person who's interviewing you. Where'd they go to school? Where did they work in their careers? You're looking for that link that you can connect to them as you're talking to them. Maybe you're from the same hometown. Maybe you have the same hobby. Maybe you both like to golf. Could be anything, but it gives you a personal thing to talk to them about. Getting a job at a company is not only can you do the job, it's also can you fit into the company culture. Are you going to get along with your colleagues? Maybe everyone plays baseball on Wednesday nights and they need a good second baseman. That might be your hook. You never know. Find out about the other company employees. Who else is in that department? Who else is in that group? Because when you go in for that interview, you may be interviewing with the hiring manager. If they like you, they may say, okay, come and meet the group. If you have that information already, or at least you know the names, you'll recognize the names, you'll put the name with the face. You may not remember everything, but again, it's another hook. You're going to want to show the interviewer who you are. What are you about? You're going to show that, well, here come my pioneers late as always. I told you I'd embarrass them as they walked in. Anyway, you're going to want to show them maturity. You're going to want to show them that you can handle the job, that you're going to be able to be there on time, you're going to be able to do the job, do it well, get along with everyone, that you're committed to the task, that you're responsible. These are all things that, you might do in first, right? Technical ability. Gee, played right into that first hook, right? You're going to want to talk about your first experience. Don't hide it. Be proud of it. This is real world application. This is real world business. I've seen how some of these teams run, and it is just the same way in the real world. You're going to want to talk with confidence. I keep using that word confidence. And that's really hard if you don't have a lot of experience with this. So any interview that you're offered, take it. You build the confidence in doing it again and again and again. This is huge. You want to focus on the job spec. So before you go into the interview, you're going to have a job spec about what it's about. So the questions aren't about you and what you do. The company doesn't care about that. They want to know what you can do for them. So wouldn't it be nice if you had the job spec? It's like an open book test. You tell them exactly what they want to hear. I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. It's that simple. So we're going to play a little game. Okay, preparing for the interview, surviving it. So we're going to go through some questions so this way you know how I need you to answer, so this way you get the job. The only rule is do not lie. You will get caught. It will come back to bite you every single time. I have had people lie that they have degrees, that they're 3 credits short, and these are executives saying that they have a degree, 3 credits short. Companies do background checks. Person didn't get the job. It's for a lot of money too, over 6 figures. Didn't get the job. When you fill out job applications, they consider those legal documents. Do not lie on a legal document. It's that simple. I had someone put on a resume that they watched me for 20 minutes using Photoshop. Put on the resume that they know how to use Photoshop. Yeah, so if anyone uses Photoshop, I mean, I'm using it 20 plus years. Let's do it that way. And I still don't know everything in the software. She put it down. Well, now when she gets hired, they're going to expect her to know that. And she's not going to last at the job very long. So it's just not worth it. Tell the truth. There are just different ways to tell the truth. You want to highlight your experience. You want to highlight who you are. So let's get started. Interview questions. We're going to go through personal questions. Tell me about yourself. They're always going to ask this question. So what would you say? This is always the first question in every interview. What would you say? Everyone's afraid of this one. We'll get started. Give a pitch, 2 to 3 minute summary. Read the rest of it.
2/3 accomplishments or experiences that you want to highlight that is relevant to the position.
Perfect. Here you go. Thank you for reading. So, does anyone want to give me a pitch? Again, you want to bring it back to that job spec. It's not about you. It's about how you're going to fit that job. So, when I say write all your answers down, they're going to ask this. Write an elevator pitch of what you would say to that job. Again, this is a question that's been for eternity. What are your strengths? Who wants to answer? What are your strengths? Answer that.
So you'd probably bring up a few things that are on the job spec so they can know that you're suited to the job.
You got it. Read that.
List what is most targeted to that position.
You got it. Oh, so simple now, right? Open book test. Look at the job spec. Where are your strengths? Match it up. I told you they ask this one all the time. What are your weaknesses? Who's answering? Back here. Excellent.
Anything unrelated to the job description?
Read that.
Employer is checking your honesty and self-awareness. Follow up with how you are working to improve on these skills and strategies that you use.
So what does that mean? That means that years ago they used to say, what are your weaknesses? And they used to tell you to take your weakness and make it into a strength. That's not how you do it nowadays, because it comes across a little cocky. Today, everyone has issues. We all know that we're not great at everything. I have a bad memory lately. It's just going on me. However, and that's one of my weaknesses. However, the way I compensate for that is I make sure to write everything down, and I make lists of everything, and I follow up on everything. So I am self-aware. I know that I have an issue, and this is how I compensate for that issue. Is everyone here perfect, or does everyone have an issue? Anyone have a time management issue? Okay. Anyone have a sleep issue? Okay. So, okay. So none of us are perfect, and that's okay. But as long as you know that about yourself, you know how to deal with that issue. So it's okay to say that. What do you like to do outside of work? Who's answering? No, you guys answered yesterday. Give me someone else. Who else? Come on, back here. Excellent. Wait. I gotta come back now. I have to do mine.
You want to know about your personal life outside of the job?
Read that.
They are testing to see if you would fit in with our people in the office.
They're looking for the cultural fit. So you may be able to do the job great, but they're looking to see if you're going to be able to get along with the people in the office. Some people get along better than others. You're all on teams. You all work in groups. Do you get along better with some people than others? You don't have to give me names, I promise. What is your favorite website? Who's answering? This is an easy one, guys. Come on. No, back here. You've already answered. Okay, I'll get you later. What's your favorite website?
Google.com.
Yeah, it's funny. They answered the same thing in Houston.
Testing to see if you are current with internet and trends.
You're going into technical fields. Even if you're not going into technical fields, they want to see if you're up on everything. Do you know about the world around you? Every morning, one of the things that I did in my household was I put Good Morning America on. And it was on in the background. Even when the kids were little, I had it on in the background. I just needed the top headlines for the day. And they got used to hearing those top headlines of the day. You want to get used to hearing the top headlines of the day. You want to see the world around you. You want to be able to go into a professional office and be able to talk about the things going on in the world around you. You want to be aware. So they're testing to see, are you up on the current trends? Are you up on the current news items, the current technology trends, anything that's going on in the world around you? So let's move on to education questions. What is your education background? Who's answering? Oh, I have a lady. I'll come back to you. Okay.
What school you went from, your major, and things like that. So what classes that you have taken that would be directly related to this position, additional training that you are doing to stay current in today's marketplace.
This is the same for your college applications. It all comes back to the job spec. Tell the story about yourself. If you're going for a degree in computer science and you're applying to a college, why should they accept you? Gee, did you take some extra courses? Did you participate in this thing called FIRST and were a programmer, or you created websites or anything like that? Put all that experience down. Talk about it, especially if it's applicable to that job spec. What are you planning on doing in the future to increase your worth to the company? Anyone? Okay, now I'm coming down to you. No one else wants it. Go for it. You weren't even paying attention. I'm teasing you, I promise.
So, to increase your okay, so future education, formal or informal?
Are you planning on going to college? You planning on taking extra courses? Do you do anything online to become more valuable to the company? Are you planning a graduate degree someday? Whatever it might be, let them know. This is never the end of your education. It continues forever. Work-related questions. And I'm just hitting the highlights of these questions. There are more in the back, because they only gave me an hour to talk, and I can go on for at least 2. Okay. What is your greatest professional achievement? I'm going back here. I'll come back to you guys.
You may want to talk about any previous work accomplishments you've done before, either at a previous job or in school. This is your time to shine. Describe the situation you were handed and how you solved it. List the steps you took to lead to the achievement. Use statistics when applicable.
Anyone do anything professionally here? I actually have people shaking their heads no. Are you kidding me? You're here at the World Championships. This is pretty cool. Oh my God, how many hours did you put in? How much effort, how much time, how many tears went into getting here to the World Championships? Pat yourself on the back. This is cool stuff. This is a professional achievement. This is going to be something that you're going to do in college. This is real world experience. Brag about it. It's okay. What is your dream job? Who's answering for me? Okay, no one else wants to answer. It's all yours.
The job that you're applying for.
Good answer. Read that.
Testing to see if your dream job matches up with their available job. If it's not, then if hired, you might not stay very long.
Good answer. Okay, we're starting to get the point here. Match it up. It's that simple. You guys are all so smart. Sometimes I got to bring it down to the lowest common denominator. It's that simple. Yes?
If the job you're applying for is an entry-level job, is it okay to say that your dream job might be a job that's like 1 or 2 levels up on the scale?
Definitely. Definitely. This is an entry-level job. You're expected to be going for an entry-level job, okay? Because they may ask you, where do you want to be 5, 10 years from now? And if there's a career trajectory path at that company, okay, they know you're going to be staying there for a while. They don't want to see job hoppers. They don't want to put the time and effort to train you and then you leave a year later. If they're putting in all that time and effort, they want to make sure that you're going to be staying. What did you like least about your last job? Has anyone had a job? Oh, back here. Finally, my orange crew raised their hands.
I work at Wendy's right now, and then so I would say I didn't really like how I didn't get any of the breaks to minor or things like that. I do at Wendy's, but at my last job before that was Jamesport, where we live. They didn't really care about the minors, really. They didn't treat us well or anything like that. So when I went to Wendy's, I brought that up, and they've been really nice about it. So I feel like that's something that, yeah. Read that. Yeah.
Always say it in a positive way. Remember how I said about the strengths and you put in positive? Always put it in a positive way, because no employer is going to want to hire you if you're talking bad about them behind their backs. You brought the topic up to them in a positive way, that you didn't like the way this was being done, and then they respected that. That's the perfect way to handle it. Never, ever, ever go negative. You want to be upbeat. You want to be friendly. You want to be graciously professional. Anyone ever hear those words?
Never.
I don't make this up, okay? This is the way the world should work. Okay, so let's talk about the position a little bit. What do you know about the company? Who's coming in for this one? I got a volunteer back here.
You should already know about.
Read that.
They want to know they want to know if you took the time to do the research, learn about the company products, goals. Why are you drawn to this company?
Perfect. They want to know if you took that time. Or is this just yet another job? Check out and read all the company products. Read their strategy documents. Read their press releases. It's all out there. Take advantage of it. Years ago, we didn't have access to this information. You went into the interview cold. The more information you know, the more interest you're going to show. They're going to say, this person really went that extra step. Why should we hire you? That's always a tough one. Who wants to read? I'll let you read. You don't have to answer, I promise. Whose hand went up? No, you answered already. Someone else. Okay, over here.
Explain how your background fits the job description perfectly, and you will be the best candidate for the job. Give examples.
Always give examples. Be detailed. Never do broad strokes. Talk about your specific experiences. Anyone have work experiences? First counts. Okay, this is a job. Yes, question.
Oh, well, I mean, I thought you were asking what sort of experience do we have, and I was going to give an example of one that I had.
Go right ahead.
With my experience, I've used my experience in Photoshop to do t-shirt designs and award designs for our team.
Okay, that's perfect. Give examples based on the job description. If you're applying for a t-shirt job or a design job, that's a real world example. Always apply it to the job spec. Who wants to read? Go.
They do not hire based on what you could do for the company, but based on your previous successes, and that you can now do that for them.
They want to know what you can do for them. They want to know that you can do the job, that you have a little bit of experience, a little bit of knowledge in this. They're not going to hire me as a mechanical engineer just because I stood around watching everyone building the robot. Remember, I'm not an engineer. I'm the first to admit it. They want to know that you have some knowledge that you can apply and get the job done. These are silly, unrelated questions, but they are real questions that have been asked on an interview. If you were an animal, which one would you want to be? True question. Who wants to answer? Yeah, go ahead.
I'd say I would want to be a hedgehog
Why?
because they tend to be like more all-aroundish, like they can both protect and defend themselves.
Fantastic. What did that just tell me about you? Okay, but no, it told me you also want to be an overall person. They will ask these questions. There'll be personality tests you're going to have to take when you go on these job interviews, and you have no idea in how to pass those personality tests. Just be yourself. Walk in confidently. How many tennis balls can you fit into a limousine?
As many as you think you can.
What they're testing really for is, are you shying away from the problem? They want to see, are you thinking? So anyone build a robot here? What's the first couple of days like after they announce the game? Strategy, you're thinking about it, you're planning, okay? They want to see, especially in any of these fields, they want to see, are you going to say, well, I have no idea. They want to see how you're thinking, are you thinking about it? If you could be anywhere in the world right now, where would you be?
At the first championship.
Good answer. Houston answered, at this job. That was a good answer, too. Where would you want to be? You want to be working for that company. Question.
I know where I'd want to be. Right here.
Right here at the World Championships. Tell me the difference between good and exceptional. Tough one. Ooh, back here.
Good is basically just like getting the job done, and exceptional is going like above and beyond what they want you to do.
Fantastic. Like going to the World Championships. How many times do a clock's hands overlap in a day? Everyone's thinking about it now, right? Okay, and everyone's going to have an answer. What? I got one left. I ran out. Okay, how many?
24.
Is he right? Shout it out. Once every 3 seconds, is she right? Once every 30 seconds, is she right? You know what? But you guys are thinking about it now. And you're going to go through these questions, and you're going to write down answers, and your brain is now in the game. That's the difference. You are now preparing. You're feeling a little bit more confident. Because when you all walked in here, you weren't raising your hands. Now you're talking about it. How would you weigh a plane without scales? No, I need someone else. How would you weigh it? No, you answered already. All the way in the back corner. Okay, how would you weigh it?
Water displacement.
You know, my daughter answered the same thing. Good answer. Water displacement. I got a room of engineers thinking. But what is the company really testing? They're testing to see if you're thinking about it. They're testing to see if your process and watching your brain go through the procedure. That's what you have to keep in mind. Do not shy away from the questions. Personally, I would go, I have no idea, okay? But they want to see if you're thinking. Yes, question.
For these type of questions, do they want to see you thinking aloud, or do you just want to say the answer once you come up with it or something?
Either. You'll get the feel for the interviewer and the question, but you can talk about it. Say, well, you know, I would think this, and I would think this, and go through the process. They want to see that you have a process. Kind of like those calculus problems. Who's taking calculus right now? Pre-calc counts, algebra counts, and your teacher makes you write every single step, right? Every little itty-bitty step. Why? Because it's the process, and you need to follow through. Okay, they want to see your thinking. That's what these type of questions are like. Compensation. How am I doing on time? Okay, we're still good on time. Compensation. I have some people who didn't know what compensation was. Real simple. He who says a number first loses. It's that simple. You're going to go into Glassdoor and you're going to find the range of the compensation for that job, so you're going to know it. They're still going to press you for that. This is what you're going to say. Who's talking today? Oh, I think you want to talk.
I am looking for a good career opportunity. I am looking for the right position for the right company. I am sure that the right money will come with the right responsibility.
Good answer. All together now. I am looking for a good career opportunity. I am looking for the right position for the right company. I am sure that the right money will come with the right responsibility. Nice answer to give, right? Because the reality is, most of you are going into entry-level jobs. You're going to be able to go on to, and the recruiters are going to keep pushing you. Okay, what are you looking for? You can say, well, on Glassdoor, I see this position goes for this range. Because as a recruiter, I will keep pushing you to find out where your current compensation is. However, if it's your dream job, this is the company. This is the job. You've worked so hard. This is what you want. Is the difference of $5,000 one way or another going to make a difference? Over a year salary, after taxes, it's a couple $100 a month difference. You want your dream job. And the reality is if you get into that company, you're going to score your successes, and then you're going to get promoted, and you're going to get salary raises, and now you're off into your career. Doesn't that make sense? The ending of your interview. They always ask this. Do you have any questions for us? Have a list of questions ready to go.
Am I hired yet?
Preparation. Well, and it's funny you say that. So have a list of questions, but at the end, your last question, do you think I'd be a good fit for this position? Sure, why not? The reason is, number one, if they say yes, great. Ask what are the next steps in the interview process. You get some feedback. If they say no, it gives you one last chance to refute any negatives. I have to admit, I did not make this line up. This was made up by a 40-year experienced recruiter. His name is also Dad. They're filming it, so I had to put that plug in there. But it works, and this way you get feedback. You get the feedback, so this way you know how to handle it. You know if you're going to get called. Ask them when you're going to hear from them. So this way you're not sitting waiting by the phone. It's the most frustrating thing. And that's the game, surviving the interview. Okay? Thank you. So, now after the interview, always, always, always send a thank you email. Show them that you're still interested. Show that, put your resume, put your face, put your words, put your name in front of them one more time. I can't tell you how many people don't do this. It could make all the difference. If you're not sure what to say, I have templates on my website that you can download because everyone has problems when they get contacted by a recruiter. What do I say? I also have a free website. Free is always good. It's called Job Tracker. It's free for everyone and first. It will keep track of all the job applications that you apply for. It will also create automatic tasks in order to follow up, in order to remind you to send those emails, those thank you emails. It'll also allow you to document any contact that you have with the company. It's all color-coded, and it's free. If you're overwhelmed, I will be on Scholarship Row all week. If you need any help, please ask questions. I'll have a question period now, but you can always stop by and say hello, and that is it. So does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, could you go back to the slide with the website on it?
All the information is on the back.
Oh,
That's why I left all the information. Let me answer back here because she hasn't asked anything yet. She's been sitting all the way back here. Go ahead.
How long should you wait to send a thank you email?
Immediately. You interview, you want to, how badly do you want that job? If you want it badly, you send it right away. Someone asked me yesterday, should they handwrite the note? Yes, years ago we used to handwrite notes, and it's not a bad thing. However, emails operate a lot faster, and you want them to know immediately that you appreciate their time and that you want that job. Oh, I come around here. Wait, she had her hand up first.
My dad often says that for interviews, try to turn like your, like he said, like when you're, like for a weakness, for example, he said to say that you go like too far beyond and try to like make it seem as if you're better than what they're expecting. What do you do with that?
No, that's taking the strength or the negative and turning it into the positive. I wouldn't do that, okay, because that's self-praise, okay, because everyone here is a hard worker, okay, and that's not quantifying it. So I would recommend just saying how you're self-aware with your weaknesses. As I said, my memory isn't so great. This is how I compensate for it, okay? I know the weakness. So if your weakness is you work too hard, well, you know, you kind of say, okay, yeah, and sometimes I need to tone that back, and I, you know, watch my hours, and there's other ways in which to be saying it.
Oh yeah, what's the polite way to ask for someone's contact information? Should you try to get it off LinkedIn, or should you ask directly?
Ask directly. If you're in the interview, can I have your contact information, or can I have your business card? Okay, they love handing their business cards out. Usually because they have like 1,000 of them sitting in their drawer and they never go through them. So yeah, ask them for it. Again, it's entry-level jobs. It's okay. You're starting to network. And you want to have as many people's contact information. There are mentors out there all over the place, volunteers who are hiring people. They work at companies. Meet them. You're at the World Championship. This is the time to meet people. When you all walked in, I made sure that you met your neighbors and you meet people, right? Because you're going to follow them in their careers. You're all going to be working at different companies. You may want to reach out to them. Oh, remember I saw you at that interview session, okay, with the crazy lady talking about interviews, right? Okay, and you have that instant connection. Any other questions?
How do you phrase first as work experience? Like, I've only ever made a high school resume, and I've always put it under extracurriculars.
What do you do on the team? Okay, and what do you do as head of business operations?
I raise our yearly budget.
That's kind of a really important job.
So I just describe what I do.
You definitely describe what you do. That's a job. Business operations, definitely. Half my resume is my first experience teaching and mentoring, okay, and all the awards and the products and all the things that you do. Definitely. Think about how many hours you put into FIRST. Okay, as a mentor, easily 30, 40 hours a week, right? Okay, you guys probably put in more time. As far as I'm concerned, that's a job. Do you have to be responsible? Do you have to work in a group? Do you have to take care of business? Those are job qualities. Any other questions? No? That's it? Okay. I thank you for coming during lunch. I appreciate it. I hope everyone stayed awake. I hope you have a great competition. Okay, come visit me in Scholarship Row.